Greetings. Dear friends, have you ever heard the saying, thanks to righteous women our ancestors were redeemed from Egypt? We need to understand, if the redemption of the past was thanks to the women, what did they do that they received credit for such an important redemption? After all, how can it be that all the people of Israel, Moses, Aaron the priest, the elders, and ultimately the women are the ones who brought us out of Egypt? Where did we see it? What did those people do to whom our sages tell us a most wonderful thing after Israel left Egypt? After Moshe Rebbe split the sea and all the Egyptians drowned with Israel, they began to sing poetry. And suddenly you see Miriam gathering all the women with drums in her hand, and they begin to sing to the Holy One, blessed be He, and to thank Him. And we ask, Lord of the world, where do you get drums from? How did you know everything would happen? The women of Israel come and say, when we were in exile, when everyone had their heads in the ground, we believed in redemption. We knew that one day this day would come, so we prepared drums in front of those who prepare themselves for redemption. The one who believes with complete faith is not only entitled to redemption, he is also entitled to create rights that cause others to come to redemption. Redemption of the world. In the terrible Holocaust, there was a rabbi. They called him the Lord of the Jewish job blues. This Jew lost his wife and children in the Holocaust. Slowly, the people around him disappeared. He remained in Edmore with almost no followers, and here comes the eve of Passover. He tells the people around him, guys, Passover is a few days away. What do we do with matzah? Rabbi said to him, I wish there was chametz. What are you talking about? He told them, listen, let's suggest to the Nazis that next week we can't eat chametz, so we give up bread for a week. Let them give us a sack of flour and we will make unleavened bread with such a journey. What do you say? They told him, Your Honor, it's a wonderful idea, but it's not practical. I'll take care of it. The Rebbe approached the person in charge of that camp and asked him. He said to that person in charge, I have no problem, I just need to get permission from Berlin. After a few days, a representative of that person in charge arrived and told him the request was approved. Here is a sack of flour. Next week there is no food. The Rebbe said no thanks. They took the sack of flour, gathered wood, lit a fire, built a makeshift oven, and made them fancy unleavened bread. On the eve of Passover, there is unleavened bread for all the members of the barracks. Suddenly, a cruel, evil Nazi came in and asked who is in charge here. They knew that everything was done in coordination. The Admor told him. He came to Edmore, beat him until Arabi lost consciousness, took the unleavened bread, threw it on the floor through a lamb. I don't like to say, he defecated on them so they couldn't eat, not even the crumbs. After long hours, Passover arrived. The Admor is still unconscious. They try to wake him up, and slowly he wakes up and asks, let's do the Seder night, and we start to do Kadesh. He bathed, and suddenly they arrive at a matzah. They knew how to say the Haggadah by heart, what they knew. But now you have to eat matzah. They had more or they had no matzah. The Rebbe told them, one moment, just before I lost consciousness, I reached out and brought a piece of matzah. I have a piece of matzah, the question is who will eat it? They told him, you will eat yourself. The Rebbe told them, no, we will draw a lottery. Suddenly a woman came. The Rebbe said to him, I want to tell you something. I have a 4-year-old child. He has to eat the matzah, he tells the 4-year-old boy. He is not obligated to the mitzvah. She told him correctly, but what is the most important mitzvah? And you told your son. Everyone here already ate matzah, next year we will be free. Everyone knew how to pass the message on because we had already celebrated Passover once. But this child had never eaten matzah. If he doesn't eat matzah now, how would he know how to tell next year? 2 more years and another 20 years must be given to him. The Rebbe was amazed at her answer and said, you are right. The child will eat the matzah, and so it was. Friends, after this Passover, the war ended and the conflict came to America and slowly began to build a community for itself. One day a woman comes and wants to enter his office. The son tells her the Rebbe doesn't accept women, She told him, "I want to now," and started crying. Panicked, the son said to the rabbi, "Someone is crying. Let her in." She tells him, "Rabbi, listen, I survived the war and came to the United States. I want to start a new life. Want to get married? I get a lot of offers. I do not know. Maybe the Rebbe can find out for me about offers that I will accept." He told her, "Please tell me the name you were offered." She told him the name. He told her, "This man, I know him. He is actually a good person. When are you meeting him?" She told him, "Tomorrow." He told her to meet, and if it suits you, get married. She comes to the meeting. And who else comes to the meeting? Edmure? She tells him, "Rabbi, I didn't mean for you to come to the meeting." He tells her, "No. I'm the one you're meeting with. I'm the meeting you told him. The admiral is willing to meet with a simple woman like me," he told the lady. "I remember that Seder night in the camp. I remember how you brought your 4-year-old child, and I said to myself then, a woman who is in hell in the inferno and asks for matzah for her child, why in a few years will he have the taste of matzah to tell his children? I mean, train for redemption, train for me to get out of there. A woman with faith, a woman with confidence, a woman with dependence on the Holy One. Blessed be he. She is the woman who deserves to be my wife." And they got married but had no children. And after many years that the Rebbe passed away, that 4-year-old boy became the Admir in Luzon, who to this day recounts the exodus from Egypt. So dear friends, we all want to be redeemed for this year. Do you know what needs to be redeemed? What must be done to be redeemed? To believe that the Holy One, blessed be He, can and will redeem us all for eternal redemption. Let's try to get stronger in faith, get stronger in confidence, and believe that this year we will all be redeemed. Private and general redemption soon these days. Amen and amen.